Here we go. Chapter 11. Dark Foreshadows. Melvin went to his garage and climbed into his glow-in-the-dark time-traveling robo-squid suit. Quickly, the suit powered up and started slinking and slithering toward the schoolyard. As Melvin began the long journey to bring George, Harold, and Captain Underpants back home where they belonged. After solving some surveillance photo issues at the bank, Melvin zapped himself to the future, fetched everyone, and brought them all back 1 year earlier to the exact time and place where they had departed on their journey in our last book. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants had been through a lot in the past few days, but now it was as if they had never left at all. Everything was just as it had been. The Turbo Toilet 2000 wouldn't arrive on Earth for another 2 weeks, so Melvin's future as a superhero would never become reality, and nobody was happier about that than Melvin himself. I don't have to be a superhero anymore, cried Melvin happily. I can finally follow my destiny, peace and quiet at last. But you still haven't told us why you've brought us back, said George. Yeah, said Harold. What gives? Oh, you'll find out, said Melvin with a foreboding chuckle. In 2 weeks, you'll find out. Melvin unleashed a horrible, villainous laugh as his glow-in-the-dark robo-squid suit began to shake and buzz. Soon, he and his tentacled time machine disappeared into a ball of electric light. Chapter 12. Heading home. George and Harold had no choice but to take Mr. Croop home. They brought him to his front door, got the key out from behind the bushes, and let him inside. Go over to the kitchen sink and splash some water on your face, said George. Aye, aye, sir, said Captain Underpants. He did as he was told, and in no time at all he was back to his grumpy old self. No salesman. Keep off the. Do not smell flowers. Private property. He don't like anyone at his house. I wonder what's going to happen in 2 weeks, said Harold, as he and George walked home. Ah, I'm sure it's no big deal, said George. If Melvin can handle it, we can handle it. Wanted. Soon, George and Harold were back up in their treehouse. Carefully, they placed Cracker's eggs on some soft pillows under a few desk lamps. There, said George. That should keep them warm and cozy. George and Harold were dead tired. They hadn't slept in over 30 hours, and they'd been running for their lives most of the time. I need a serious nap, said Harold as he settled into his beanbag chair. Me too, said George as he collapsed into his own beanbag chair. Saving the world is exhausting. I'm still a little worried about that whole 2 week thing, said Harold. That sounds really bad. Relax, said George. There's nothing we can do about it now, anyways. Let's try to stay out of trouble for the next 2 weeks, said Harold. If the world is going to end, I don't want to be stuck in detention the whole time. Ah, don't worry so much, said George. Besides, how much trouble could we get into in 2 weeks anyways? Plenty. Chapter 13. 11 minutes later. George, Harold, get down here right now. George and Harold opened their eyes wearily. They stumbled to the treehouse door and looked down. George's mom and Dad and Harold's mom were all standing down in the yard looking very angry. Uh-oh. The school called. George's dad said, "They told us that you kids weren't in class today." "Uh-oh," said George. "We're dead," said Harold. "Would you mind explaining what you've been doing all day?" asked Harold's mom angrily. George and Harold could hide the truth no longer. They decided to confess everything. "We couldn't go to school," said George. "We had to save the earth from an evil, crazy guy who was riding around in a giant pair of robotic pants." "Yeah," said Harold. "We spent the last day traveling through time running from dinosaurs and teaching cavemen how to defend themselves." "Very funny," shouted George's dad. "If you kids think you can skip school and goof around all day, you're in for a big surprise." George and Harold had never seen their parents so angry. The two boys spent the next 5 hours mowing lawns, weeding gardens, vacuuming houses, washing cars, dusting furniture, cleaning out garages, whitewashing fences, doing dishes, folding laundry, and taking out garbage. It was exhausting work, but it was nothing compared to what was coming next. Dum, 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 dum. Chapter 14. What was to come next? George and Harold had never been so tired in all their lives. At 9:30 p.m., they grunted "good night" to each other and limped into their houses like zombies. I don't like doing chores. They would like a snack, dear. I'm sorry, would you like a snack, dear?" said Harold's mother. "No, thanks," he mumbled. He was too tired for a snack, too tired to take a bath, too tired to put his pajamas on or take his shoes off. He didn't even have the energy to turn out his bedroom light. He just collapsed on top of his bed and fell asleep instantly. 22 seconds later, the telephone rang. It was George. Harold's mother brought the phone into his room and held it up to his ear. Harold was too tired to even say hello. He just mumbled, "Mmm." "I just remembered something," said George, panicking. "Tomorrow is test day." Harold's bloodshot eyes popped open, and he sat up straight. "Oh no!" Harold cried. "I forgot all about that." "Me too," said George. "We're having major tests in all of our classes tomorrow. We're going to have to stay up all night long and study." But oh, somebody wasn't paying attention. All right, good job, guys. We'll do chapter 15 tomorrow.